Good Saturday morning, everybody. Welcome to my Pitt football game day pregame. So I'm Mason Sapesky here, your host, and today we prepare for the Pitt Panthers to host the North Carolina Tar Heels tonight at 8 p.m. at Acrisure Stadium in Pittsburgh. This is definitely going to be an interesting game for sure. Our Panthers come into this game 1-2, obviously. We lost two tough games the past 2 weeks to the Cincinnati Bearcats and the West Virginia Mountaineers. So this season has not been the prettiest for Pitt for sure, but they have a big chance to rebound tonight against Drake Maye and this dominant North Carolina-led offense. They lost a receiver, I believe, because of ineligibility rules. His name's Watkins, I think it is, something Watkins, but they lost him for the season because of the NCAA's eligibility rules. The coach, Mac Brown, was upset about that one, but for sure. But this is going to be a close game, or this is going to be interesting. This is going to be an interesting game tonight, that's for sure, even without him, because Drake Maye is very good. Our Pitt secondary is going to be in for a test. Emory Jones, Garrett Green, Nico, it's something M, but I can't fully remember it, but they're all very good quarterbacks, but they are nowhere near the level of Drake Maye. Even Pat Narduzzi has said this. He has said that he'd be surprised if Maye wasn't the first overall pick in next year's draft. He really likes Maye a lot, thinks Maye's talented. I watched Drake Maye last year. I also believe he's very talented. Sorry to burp. The announcers actually drew a Patrick Mahomes comparison with him. Who knows if he'll be the next Patrick Mahomes? We'll know that answer probably in 5 or 6 years. But as for tonight, he has a challenge against this Pitt secondary led by MJ Devonshire and others, so it'll be interesting for sure. The Pitt offense is going to look to rebound tonight. Phil Jurkovec obviously is struggling at quarterback for our Panthers. He's going to look to come back with his receivers, Bob Means, Gavin Bartholomew, the tight end, Quantum Mumfield, and he'll also look to rely on his running game again with Rodney Hammond. Looked really good last week in West Virginia, especially on that opening drive, so hopefully they can do something. If the defense plays well enough tonight, I can definitely see this game being close. However, I don't think that this game is going to be very close because I just think the Pitt offense is not the best right now. Put it at that. I don't have a lot of optimism for this game. North Carolina is undefeated. They defeated South Carolina this year. They defeated Appalachian State this year, and they defeated Minnesota this year. So those are 3 quality opponents. Pitt has defeated Wofford this year, who is, unfortunately for Wofford fans, far from a quality opponent. And the 2 quality opponents they did play, they lost to both of them because of Jurkovec's quarterback struggles. This offensive line is another thing that's not very good. I was reading this week the offensive line is one of the worst in college football, so that doesn't help Phil Jurkovec. Obviously, Phil Jurkovec's not playing good, but all these struggles are not on him. They're on the offense as a whole. So it'll be interesting to see how Frank Cignetti Jr. fixes that. Hopefully they had a good week of practice. But if North Carolina has a down game, I can definitely see this one being close. However, I don't think the final outcome will be close at all. I think that North Carolina is easily going to win this game. Earlier in the year, I predicted Pitt to win this game before these past 2 games happened, obviously. And I had some hope after North Carolina barely beat Appalachian State. But I don't see much hope now for the Pitt Panthers. I was thinking about picking Pitt earlier this week in a close one, but I don't think it's a very good one. I mean, when I was doing my picks for ESPN this week, I saw 98% of people picked the North Carolina Tar Heels to win this game. 2% picked us. I wasn't very surprised with that at all, obviously. North Carolina 7-point favorites. I'm not surprised by that at all. I mean, I think if you want to pick Pitt, I don't think that would be a bad pick, but I definitely wouldn't pick Pitt against that in this one because I think this is going to be a bad night for the offense. It's supposed to rain, unfortunately. We had a tropical storm hurricane. I don't know exactly which one it is, but It's supposed to hit out by Philly, up by State College. Some of the remnants are supposed to touch this area, but it's not supposed to be terrible, so we might get some rain. Tonight, I remember last year when we played Georgia Tech, we got the remnants of Hurricane Ian. Georgia Tech came in here and pulled off a big upset against Pitt, and that basically screwed up Pitt's season somewhat. The Panthers still went 9-4, got a bowl game. Pitt last year started 3-2. After that, they beat West Virginia, they beat Western Michigan, and they also beat Rhode Island. Kind of similar to this year. If Pitt can pull this one off tonight, that would put them at 2-2 and possibly with a chance to improve to 3-2 if they win next week at Georgia Tech, or not at Georgia Tech, I'm sorry, at Virginia Tech. So it'll definitely be interesting to see where this season's going. I think a loss tonight would have a lot of consequences for the Pitt Panthers, and I predict we'll find out those consequences next week, because I truly and honestly, unfortunately, believe this is going to be a rough night for the Panthers, and I predict the North Carolina Tar Heels will easily win this one. My score prediction for tonight is this: the North Carolina Tar Heels 23, our Pitt Panther, or the North Carolina sorry about that, restart. My score prediction for tonight's game is the North Carolina Tar Heels 24, our Pitt Panthers 3. That's all I have for you guys today. Fortunately, I don't think we score a touchdown in this game. That'll be disappointing for sure. We probably will score a touchdown, though, at some point. We didn't score a touchdown against WVU. That was upsetting, and that's partly why we lost. But I hope there's a lot of fire in this team tonight. I hope they had a great week of practice, and I hope these past 2 losses motivated them to come out strong. So I wouldn't be surprised if Pitt pulled off this upset, because this is the kind of games that Pitt wins. I'm picking North Carolina to stay safe and to try to protect my overall predictions record. However, I almost was tempted to pick the upset here. So I'm just going to say this straight up. Do not be surprised if Pitt pulls off the upset in this one. I think it's going to be a bad night for Pitt, but don't be surprised if it's a good one. Anyway, that's all I have for you guys today. Have a good one. Take care. Stay safe. Enjoy the game tonight. Let's go, Pitt. And finally, as I always say, peace.